Hello everyone, welcome to Star Codes. This is Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astronumerologist, and today we're going to focus on the very important Aries new moon. This year, the Aries new moon marks so much reset, restart, renewal, coming right after the spring equinox in the Northern Hemisphere, Aries being the first sign, and the new moon being in new beginnings. So the energy is very exciting in so many ways and is steering us away from the Piscean energy, which has really clouded over some of our ability to see clearly. And the shadow side of Pisces is to be a victim. So if you have felt like there's uncontrollable energy around, which of course is prevalent in the world, the energy of fear and the coronavirus having just this huge impact in so many ways. Well, Aries is coming around now with this new moon at the spring equinox and saying, okay, well, it's time to really look at what you do control and take charge of that and not succumb to the fear. Because fear is the actual pandemic that's existed for a long time. The emotional, mental pandemic of fear is how we've been controllable for centuries, for millennia, and we are breaking free from that now. We are able to say no to the fear, and we're able to be proactive and stay in a place of complete connection, understanding what is going on without emotionally succumbing to the fear part of it. So this Aries new moon is a very important forecast for that reason. Now, Aries being the first sign and the new moon being a new beginning means that there's a lot of forward momentum. And Mars, the ruler of Aries, is so beautifully aspected during this new moon. There's a triple conjunction with the ruler of the new moon, Mars. And that triple conjunction is with Jupiter, the planet of joy and expansion, and Pluto, the planet of empowerment and transformation. So this is really quite powerful. Jupiter is at 23 degrees Capricorn, Pluto at 24 degrees Capricorn, Mars at 25 degrees Capricorn, right during this Aries new moon, which, like I said, Mars rules. So here's what we're going to cover today. The new moon happens at 4 degrees, and it's the final of 6 consecutive new moons at 4 degrees. It creates an incredible quadruple, 4 times 4 code, due to the universal date and the universal year, which we'll go into. Mars forms a triple conjunction. So Mars is connected with Pluto and Jupiter. We'll look closely at this stellium. Venus forms a triple trine, which is the most fortunate of all aspects in astrology, to that triple conjunction, that stellium. So Venus creates a trine to Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto, which is amazingly exciting. And then we also have the sun and moon forming a sextile to Saturn, and that's going to bring a lot more stability. So we have a theme here, just to start off with, that allows Saturn to bring order, create boundaries. That has to do with border control as well. As you can see, that is an important part of containment. But then we also have the Neptune side that has come in with all the Piscean energy that's led up to this, that has allowed the virus to spread. And then we have now the Aries new moon coming in with this triple conjunction, Mars, Jupiter, Pluto, that's bringing a lot of confidence and the ability to break free from the fear side, which of course depresses your immune system. So you definitely want to not get into that fear mode. You want to be in touch with the information without getting pulled into the vortex of it. So let's start with the degree number of the new moon. It is at 4 degrees, which is the number of order of the earth, the 4 sides of a home, for example, which is your security, the 4 directions, the 4 seasons. So we have this 4 ingrained in our experience on Earth. And since Aries represents new beginnings, and this is the final of 6 new moons at 4 degrees, there is a turning of the guard here, right? We have 3 new moons at the end of the decade in 2019. The last 3 new moons were at 4 degrees, and the first 3 new moons of 2020, the beginning of the decade, were at 4 degrees. So this is the final one. And at the same time, we're beginning spring or fall in the Southern Hemisphere. It's a change. It is a reboot. It is a very important time when we have the equinox, right? This is a time where things are balanced out. So why is there a quadruple 4 code? Because not only are the sun and moon at 4 degrees, but March 24, 2020 adds up to 13. And 1 plus 3 for 13 reduces to 4. So the root number is 4 for the date of this new moon. And then, of course, 2020 is a 4 universal year. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 equals 4. And so 4 is about the 4 seasons. It shows us, hey, there is a spring and there is a winter at the end when things die away and then are reborn again, which is the cycle of life. So we're being shown this at this time, that it is natural for certain times in life to be renewal times, and this is a renewal time. And so we have this ability now with the number 4 of putting everything in its place, because 4 also represents order. It is like a box, right? 4 sides. You can put things in and you can create a border. You can contain things and bring things, put things in their place so that there is discernment of where to put your energy so you don't dissipate your energy by putting it everywhere, right? So that is a wonderful shift with this number 4. And you may have the number 4, you probably do in your birth code. You don't have to be born on the 4th or 13th or 22nd or 31st or have that number as your full birthday number to have a 4. You can have that number in the numbers I just gave you, also in your degree numbers, in your astrology birth chart. So the number 4 is somewhere in your birth chart, I'm sure, and you can go discover that actually at starcodeclass.com. And that's where you really go into the personal side of astronumerology by looking at your own birth code and your own birth name as well, which describes your destiny and which is your career environment, right? So it's a wonderful way to get into the understanding of your soul code. Now, the sun and moon, of course, are in Aries, and Aries is about confidence and courage and going for it, having direction, not being held back energetically by anyone, understanding that you are sovereign, you are free to choose, you are independent, you are strong. So this signals a fresh start. It is spring, it is a new era, it is the first equinox, spring equinox of the whole decade. And so it is great energy for initiating anything new and following through with it and really focusing on your desire to be free, to be independent, not giving your power away anymore. This is why Pisces is followed by Aries. So if you have given your power away, and we're leaving the Piscean age, by the way, right? The victimization age. And we're now moving into this incredible moment of the Aquarian age, which is about freedom as well, right? Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, sets you free. Now, Aries is very similar. Aries is about independence and sovereignty and originality and breaking negative habits and setting yourself up to follow what makes you feel good and confident. It's a very pure energy, because once Aries decides what it wants, it just goes for it. You know, Mars energy is the arrow. The actual symbol of Mars is the arrow. It just goes for it. So this is the time to figure out what you're afraid of. Like, what is it? Like, just look at it, like you're looking in the mirror, you know? Face the truth. What are you most afraid of? Well, that you might catch the virus right now is probably what you're afraid of, or one of your family members, or, you know, that it's going to close down part of your life in some way. Whatever it may be, look at that fear, allow it to emerge, and then see how the divine comes through to help you adjust, be positive, and you will be replenished. Trust me. If you really move that energy around, first of all, acknowledge it, confront it, feel it, and then say, okay, so what's the solution here? What can I do? Because there's always something you can do no matter what predicament you're in. And Aries is that original idea that you need, that original source of, I am actually in control of this, and I am not allowing my life to be consumed by an outside force. I'm doing everything in my power to stay positive, to smile through this time. And even when I don't feel like smiling, I make sure I rest, or I make sure I take time to meditate or to talk to a friend. I do something, but I don't sit around feeling bad, right? I actually surrender to what is going on and then allow myself to be inspired, which is very Aries. Aries is Mars is very instinctual. It just follows that sense of, the tummy, the instinct of what to do, how to be proactive, So this is a time for you to heal that fear. And what's helping in this new moon is that the moon is conjunct Chiron. The sun and moon are both conjunct Chiron during this new moon, which is incredible. Chiron recently moved into Aries last year, and it's the first time we as a human race are experiencing Chiron in Aries consciously, because we didn't know about Chiron when Chiron was last in Aries 51 years ago, because Chiron had not been discovered until 1977. So this is a big deal. It's the first time that the human race knows about Chiron, the sacred healer, and in Aries, the first sign. So what is being healed? Your ability to tap into confidence, into courage. So you need to open up here and invest in your emotional health and understand that, yes, you're highly sensitive and that you have to just have tremendous compassion, and the connection and vibration to life, to others is there, and you need to know that you can move that energy and heal it. This is all available to you. It brings tremendous healing when the sun and moon and the new moon in Aries are conjunct Chiron. This is incredible. It allows your inner light to be infused with love, because that's what Chiron truly stands for, is healing through love. So you're bringing to life this incredible healthy balance now. You're focusing, for example, more on hygiene, more on cleanliness, more on eating healthily, more on building up your immune system. This is all Chiron. This inner need of significant healing and uplifting energy in your life, which is part of healing, because you cannot heal when the energy is negative, right? It is because your immune system is focused on Downer, being Debbie Downer. You don't want that, right? So you are focusing on the positive expression of healing now, and the uplifting energy, and feeling that calm steadiness and the drive that goes with Aries as well, to make sure that you have those boundaries, right? That you don't listen, for example, to the negativity. It's so important. Get the news where you need to, preferably independent. That's where I go. I stay away from mainstream media. There's a lot out there that you need to be aware of is controlling. And, it just is what it is. You can call it what you want to, but you want to be choosing wisely where you get your information, especially now. So the other great thing is the moon and sun are sextile Saturn, as I said earlier. And that means that you're really taking your feelings seriously. You are in control. Self-control is huge. A sense of duty, a sense of responsibility is so much easier now, as is emotional commitment and being protective of your loved ones, and more patient as well, not feeling like you need to rush into things. And I know it's Aries, and Aries likes to go fast and can be impatient because of the Mars energy, but this Saturn tempers that and brings the patience in play. So it's a beautiful juxtaposition here of making gradual, lasting progress at this time. Now, other transits, I need to, of course, go to the triple conjunction Jupiter, Mars, and Pluto. Now, Pluto was part of the stellium, and Pluto has now moved a little bit further in Capricorn, while Jupiter has moved much closer to Pluto and are going to be conjunct on the 4th of the 4th, which I'll go into in a future star code. But now, during this new moon, they are conjunct with Mars. So, wow, this is incredible. This Jupiter-Pluto combination is the most fortunate combination you can have for wealth, and I mean feeling good, well-being. So Jupiter expands abundance and joy. Pluto empowers through transformation, and they're together focused on manifesting success. So if you're passionate about something, this is a strong, fortunate time for faith, and trust and transformation and surrender. And then happening in Capricorn means it is rebooting your career somehow. There's something going on. You're doing something differently. Maybe you're allowing yourself to be more transparent or more public in some way. You're definitely focusing on the extraordinary resources you have to move your intentions forward at this time, because you have all the support. You have the vigorous ambition of Mars and the incredible joy and expansion and wealth of Jupiter, the wisdom of Jupiter, and then you have the empowerment and the transformation of Pluto. I mean, Pluto goes straight to the core of everything, and you're bringing that into what it is you're here to do. Now, Mars with Pluto makes your goal-directed energy very, very strong. So it brings tremendous results. And so your assertiveness, your ability to just go deeply into the sensual side of life, because Mars and Pluto both are the co-rulers of Scorpio, and Scorpio governs the taboo subjects, including sexuality. It also governs life and death, money owed to you through partnership or otherwise. So this is really about uncovering secrets in your life and setting the record straight and tuning into that primal energy, using that primal energy to draw on your inner warrior, your strength. That is truly Mars. And Pluto is the leader. Pluto just does not fear anything, because Pluto is about change. Pluto embodies transformation. So there is no fear of change. There is no fear of anything. If anything, Pluto says, okay, let's go for it. We need to dive down into the truth, or dive up into the truth, whatever you need to do. And then it just becomes incredibly transformational and exciting, because it boosts your confidence, because the truth sets you free. And if you're open and surrendering to that, you have the confidence to move forward. Now, how can you take advantage of this incredible Aries new moon? What is it you can do? Well, there's another beautiful transit here, Venus trine Jupiter. It's actually exact on March 27th, and that is 3 days after the new moon, which happens on March 24th. But Venus trine Jupiter, those are the two benefics in astrology. And so this is one of those feel-good moments in the year when you feel optimistic, when romance and dating may take off, you feel you can heal, you can make investments. Mercury is not retrograde anymore, so you can move forward with those goals, and you can take a holiday break if that's what you're looking for. You just feel super, super good. And so this is incredible, because Mars is also part of the equation. Venus is also trine to Mars, and Mars is the ruler of Aries, of course. So there's a lovely connection here with that energy. So, spring started a few days before the new moon. Then we have the new moon itself. Then we have this incredible trine with Venus and Jupiter, and the change of season at the same time. And so it's such a beautiful time of year to just move forward and trust that all is well, that there is a sense of I'm learning a lesson, whether it is as part of the human race or a personal lesson. This is all coming into play now because the lessons learned are what is allowing you to move forward and take this transformational energy on earth right now, this incredible moving stream of frequency that is sweeping over the earth. There's so much to learn and understand and to grow from this, bringing people closer together, understanding that we are all one, that there really is no such thing as putting up barriers when it comes to frequency and energy. And hey, that teaches you that what you put out reaches everywhere. You know, it is an important lesson and it is key in so many ways because we're turning back to, well, what makes us feel good? What makes us feel healthy? What is it that we need in our life? And we appreciate our loved ones even more. We just cherish what's important at this time. Now, Aries and Mars are very resolute. And during this tips and takeaways section, which obviously always ends the Star Code podcast, I want to focus on that resolve of Aries and Mars, because the true opening of releasing fear, so the opening up of letting go of fear, comes when you understand that an accidental life is an anxiety-ridden life. And what I mean by that is if you do not discern and if you just live by accident and you don't commit to certain priorities and set those priorities and set those boundaries, and if everything is just sheerly accidental, meaning you are out of control, you're not participating, then you will be stressed out. You will be filled with anxiety. So the point is with Aries and Mars is that you need to live consciously. Conscious living brings confidence, resoluteness about what it is that you feel, that you intuit, will set you free. And the thing you're being set free from right now is fear. So only when your attention and your involvement are discerning and definite does the universe open up its bounty to you. You need to, though, get out of the way. And at the same time, you need to set your priorities. So you need to understand that the priorities that you set need to come from your intuition. Mars is very instinctual. You want to move away from needing to belong or needing to identify with the status quo, with the culture, with whatever it is, like going with an external force. You need to instead be engaged with the moment, you purely with the divine, without the burden of an external expectation being put on you. Because the past now truly is history. We need to move into the present. That is where your playground is. You will not feel like playing if you just rely on past ways or past ideologies. So this means, what do you put your devotion on? How do you set your priorities? Well, what makes you happy? What allows you to feel like you're riding the wave of life? What allows you to feel unimpeded by external distractions and drama? This can be a huge question for everyone because we surround ourselves with people, with projects, with ideas, with thoughts, with expectations for our future. I mean, there's so much with news, right? I mean, that's a big one. With information that is constantly distracting us from bliss, from happiness, from peace. So this is the Aries awakening of this new moon. To be clear, to be simple, to be open to rebirth, to be resolute, to feel that inner confidence again, and to take every moment to reset, to renew, to rebirth. This is a reset moment if there was anyone in our history. Our environment, the stars, the galaxy, is constantly going through bursts of new energy, and in a way, this is the supernova that we need on Earth for us to just appreciate life to the fullest extent possible, to only move forward when we are filled with joy, with love, with light, the light of wisdom, and to let go of everything else and be resolute about it. Setting those boundaries, saying no, and then saying yes. So Aries is a yes sign. Aries is the sign of rebirth and renewal and confidence. And so I wish you an incredible, wonderful Aries new moon experience, a wonderful spring in the northern hemisphere, autumn in the southern hemisphere. And if you find the time during this momentous breakthrough experience that we're having to discover who you are, I highly recommend that you look up your astronumerology code at starcodeclass.com, because when you connect to the stars and codes come from the stars, we communicate in codes. Frequency is what has built this whole universe, is made of frequency, and you have a very specific frequency. So it is highly important for you to understand who you are, how you chose this particular lifetime. Why are you here now? What is the reason and the destiny and the purpose for your life at this time? And also discovering what's happening now based on moving it all forward to the present moment. So go to starcodeclass.com. It's a free masterclass I created for you because I really would love for you to know more about who you are at soul level. And again, have a beautiful Aries new moon. And I'll see you in next week's Star Code podcast. Bye-bye for now.